welcome back to the Antisocial Planet, and today we're watching episodes 148 and 149 of Bleach, and goodness, it has been so long since I've had to record and upload Bleach reactions because I've been doing them live, but if you guys were on my live where I was trying to do these two episodes, the internet gods said no, so I'm going to record them and upload it for you guys because I do want to continue to do Bleach reactions, and we're just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. So please come and discuss stuff over on the Discord if you want to. There's a link down in the description if you haven't joined already, and leave wonderful comments because I do really love talking to you guys, which is why I wanted to do stuff live, but we'll make do with what we have, we'll find a way. So the last episode that we watched, we got, and this is the end of this little like filler kind of segment in the middle of this arc where we were introduced to Nell and the Arrancar that are with her, this little group, and we also had Rukia and Renji show up to come and help Ichigo and be supportive friends, even though Renji will continue to pretend that he doesn't care, but he does. And we had a little bit of an adventure with this kind of like sand Arrancar spirit guy. Not really sure exactly what he is. I'm assuming he's a hollow of some kind because of there being, like the hollow place. But had a little encounter with him. Seemed to work out okay with the help of Rukia's ice powers. And then there was the big sandstorm that he created that separated Rukia from the rest of the group, and they kind of got sucked down into like this underground cavern known as like the Forest of Menos. So there are a lot of Menos Grande there, stressing me out a little bit. And, Ichigo and friends trying to defeat as many as they can, but there's a lot of them. And also trying to look for Rukia because she was separated. And we have Rukia with this, like, masked Soul Reaper person who, picked a fight with her, got into a little bit of scuffle, may or may not have stabbed her, which is how we ended up the last episode, and I'm stressed about it, which is why I must react to the next episodes. I must have some kind of closure. I want to know who this guy in the mask is, what his deal is. I want to know why he's in this like land of the hollows, which I can never Hueco Mundo? Something like that. Something like that. I don't Spanish, guys. I'm from Canada. We don't Spanish here. We en français. But that is where we left off. So far I'm loving Nell and her little group. They're so adorable together. They're so funny, and they're just like a dysfunctional family trying to make it work. And it's very, very sweet. And I also feel like Nell is definitely gonna be like some kind of powerful Arrancar because she's very humanoid in form, which usually means like the more human looking they are, the more powerful they are. As we've seen so far. So I'm assuming she's got a lot of power. Doesn't seem like it at the moment. Hasn't like shown off any kind of talent or power or combat skills, but seems very taken with Ichigo and was given the stink eye to Rukia there for a little while because she punched him. Just showing affection the way that she does. A little aggressive, but it's okay. And, just in general, just stressing out about the fact that this is all just so they can go fight the Espada, and that probably won't end well. And the Soul Society doesn't want to get involved, which, I mean, Probably some of them will. I mean, come on, Toshiro. He's gotta get involved, right? Like, Byaki has already kind of gotten involved in that he, like, did the whole, like, if I just turn around and you happen to run off, I saw nothing kind of thing with, like, Arenji and Rukia. He was like, my job was to bring you back to the Soul Society, not to keep you here. His nice little loophole that he found. So I'm assuming that the rest of, like, Rukia and Ichigo's friends in the Soul Society are gonna find a way, you know, to sneak off. But at the moment, I don't feel good about them fighting the Espada. I don't think they have the power for it. And the only reason that nothing bad has happened because of that is because the Espada have just like left. But now there's nowhere for them to go back to. Like they're already in their home turf. So like there's no them just running away at the end of this. I'm nervous. And I'm nervous about Orihime, who's just like on her own dealing with it. So let's get into episode 148. And it's gonna be so weird not being able to chat with you guys. I'm so used to live streaming these, but let's just get into the episode. In three, two, one, go. Still love this song more than I probably should. I am gonna get Totoro though, because the last episode was more intense than I was expecting. So just gotta. Totoro has to be here. I don't know, should I like I've been thinking about getting another anime related, not really plushy, it's like kind of like a throw pillow. Should I? I don't need it in like a material sense, but I want it. I don't know. Maybe I'll put something on like my Discord and be like, which throw pillow should I get? I'll let you guys decide. Yes, I remember. Uh-huh. Little Nell. Yes, the punches I remember. Yes, in the white sand. Guardian. Menos Grandes still freak me out. Like the design of them is just like nightmare fuel. Oh no. Poor little things. Yes. Maybe he doesn't have a squad anymore. Like Urahara. Yeah, this I remember. Just why? Is the violence necessary? Why can't we just all be friends? It's just a thought. Was that the shot we saw from the angle? You just cliffhangered me? Awful. Well, couldn't you have seen her strength from how she was fighting all of those hollows and stuff? Why you gotta be aggressive? I guess they would be. Hollows are attracted to spirit pressure, so. Yeah, I don't think he cares about your like squad and rank and stuff. Look at him just easily getting through them. Look at the growth. Ooh. Well, like not that much growth. Remember the struggle Menos Grande used to be though? Look at how far they've come. Yes, save them. Aw. I do like Boa Boa. Just like a puppy, but like a worm. I find it interesting that we're starting to see hollows that like don't have the like hole just in their chest where like the chain usually is. It's like off to the side. It's like lower down. In the case of Ukiora, he has it like in his neck. I wonder if that's has something to do with like how powerful they are. Because I've always just assumed the hole is because the chain is gone, but like, what if there's a different connotation to it? Uh-oh. Excuse me. She was trying to find her friends. Ooh, that didn't seem to do much. It's interesting that they know about him. I mean, I guess if he's been there as long as he has, but he must be powerful enough that they can't just like get rid of him. They're just creepy. Like, they just freak me out. Ugh. I don't like when they unite. Using like a hollow mask as a shield. It's pretty metal. Oh dang! Why didn't you do that to start? We're just playing around before? Testing the waters? Wow. Yeah, that also me, Orukia. I totally get where you're coming from with that. That shook space. Aizen. It's a long story. Yeah. Probably longer than even I know about because this seems to have been in the works for a long time. Hmm, I wouldn't say friend. It does feel more like a nest. Well, that's good to know, considering she has only just seen one for the first time. Hello. I don't know who you are. Wow, level 100? Have you not been able to get out? You were probably horrifically ill-adjusted now. You spent that long by yourself just fighting hollows. It's gotta do something to your psyche. So you were like, what? A one-man army? I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but It seems like an unwinnable battle that you've put a lot of energy into. This feels very like sacrificial. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It feels like we're sacrificing them to like a deity or something. And isn't now like actually an Arrancar though? I love that. Mine's also a little bit cracked. They're just like pointing at the mask. You tried though. You tried to get out. It was a good plan on paper. Oof. Yeah, you've definitely got some psychological damage then. Oh, it was like a whole group of them. Oh, that's the one he took the mask from? Is this the example to be like, this is what how much of a doomed mission Ichigo and his friends are on? Because that's the vibe I'm getting. Imagine being fueled by like hate and anger for that long though. Hundreds of years. To be on a vendetta for that long. But I guess if it's the only thing that's like keeping you alive, then what else do you do? Like you hold on to the anger, right? I mean, I'm worried anyway, but I'm glad that we're all banding together. Oh, unless it's a trap. I'm not gonna say I told you so, but it's true though. Aim for the one in charge, not for the lower numbers that keep multiplying. I mean, they scratched him. Good start. One step at a time, you know? Uh-oh. Parallel of the last scene. Oh, no. I mean, I get why they have cliffhangers because it makes me watch more, but also let me breathe. Ugh, you can't make me empathize with him and then be like, look who's the spare character. I guess I shouldn't have gotten attached because I knew that this was like not canon in the manga. Like the manga, I guess it's canon, but like it didn't make it into the manga, which means that characters introduced during this time probably like chances are that they're not in later stuff. So probably probably a sign of, characters getting killed off. But still, we're gonna watch the end because I started watching all the way to the end, the little fun scenes at the end during my lives. So I will do that now. Go. Well, he's in the next episode, so I guess it's okay. Game? Sure. Mm-hmm. Picked up on that one. Yes, be careful. My shirt was bothering me, so I had to change it. Yes, it's a continuity issue. Just pretend that this is what I was wearing the whole time. I like that we finally got some answers about why Ashido was in like the hollow world and why exactly there was suddenly this like random soul reaper that was just like fighting hollows and stuff. So I like that we got some backstory, maybe a little bit sad, maybe a little bit upset. But I also feel like it's a very interesting like contrast of because I feel like Ashido is like a very almost like the opposite spectrum of Ichigo because Ichigo is very much like doesn't want to be part of the Soul Society, doesn't want to like get sucked into like the mantras or the like belief system of like soul reapers that are part of the Soul Society and stuff like that. And he just wants to like have his own beliefs and his own ideas, and like he doesn't let any external forces like overly influence his decisions or who he is. Whereas um Ashido seems to be more like living for those ideals, living for those beliefs because he doesn't have anything else. Like I feel like Ichigo is like, well, I have my family, I have my friends, I have school, I have like my own interests. And those are things that I want to go back to. Like, could he have stayed with the Soul Society? Yeah, probably he could have stayed there and learned and become part of a squad and continued on as that being part of who he was. But even before he like fully committed to being a Soul Reaper, he was like, well, I don't want to fully become a Soul Reaper because I have other stuff. I feel like I'm glitchy again. I have other things in my life that are just as important to me, and I don't want to give those up. So he has a lot that like grounds him in his current life and like in the living world and like in the world that he is used to. Whereas like Ashido is very much like he's lost all of those grounding things other than this ideal that like he can fight hollows and you get rid of hollows, send their souls on to where they need to be without them having to go into the living world and cause mayhem. Like that's like his ideology of being like, well, if I can stop them here before they get into the living world, they can't hurt anyone. Even though he kind of knows like on an intellectual level that like what he's doing isn't going to make a huge difference. It's like the thing that is fueling him. Like it is the reason for him to keep surviving and to keep moving is like I talked a little bit in like the actual reaction where I was like, well, if like it's hard to hold on to like anger and on to like really intense emotions in general. It's hard to hold on to those forever or for hundreds of years in his case unless they're the thing they're like the only concrete thing you have. And I feel like that's where he is at. Like Ashido is like, I don't have anything else. I like, could he go back to the Soul Society? Probably. He could have gone back a long time ago. He probably could have figured it out. But all of his friends, all of the people that he was like in a squad with, that he fought with, are gone now. And so he doesn't have anything, that he doesn't have anything concrete to have him go back to the Soul Society. And what he has is a promise that he has made that he is going to try and prevent as many hollows as possible from getting into the living world, that he's made to his friends. And like the fact that he has graves for them is like another a kind of grounding thing, because it's like a physical presence that he has created for his lost friends to like use as a way of like remembering them. And like is the like we all do with when we have gravestones for people, is like a way of remembering them and like having a physical representation of that person, and like that we can use to kind of like channel our own emotions and thoughts and memories through. So his life ostensibly exists in this hollow world, even though he doesn't actually belong there, and even though he doesn't think that he will survive it, and even though he doesn't think that he will make some huge revelation in, the hollow population and the way that um the Soul Society deals with hollows, but like it's what he has. And I feel like that is such a like extreme example of what can happen to a Soul Reaper, like the fact that you can become so absorbed in like the job or the ideology of being a Soul Reaper that it comes to that point where like it's all you have. And I just feel like it's a really good kind of, counter story to what we've experienced with Ichigo, but also like a good cautionary tale. Like it's a good way of just being like, it's fine to say like, hey, we have like Rukia, she's got family, she's got friends, she's got other stuff going on in her life besides being a Soul Reaper. It's obviously a huge part of her life, but it's not all of her life. Even any of the other Soul Reapers, even something like Ikagu. Ikagu is like really, his kind of focus in life is getting stronger, is fighting and combat, and like, that's what he's good at. And even he has like friends and family with, with his squad, and he has other stuff in his life besides just like the sole focus of one thing. Obviously, everyone has like a passion, a focus, a goal, something that they want to be, kind of some big achievement that they have, but there's always lots of other little things that kind of make up, you know, the time around that. And so I feel like having Ashido in this episode and subsequent episodes, I'm assuming he's going to be in the next episode too, is just like a nice way of being like, here's an extreme example, here's a possible outcome of life as a Soul Reaper, is just like a way of expanding the different stories that the audience gets exposed to. There's other stuff going on too, obviously, but we focus so much on Ashido and like his backstory and stuff like that, that I want to talk about him a little bit. And I don't feel like there was a whole lot going on in terms of like other characters moving around and other kind of plot points picked up, because we're kind of like putting on pause the like main story a little bit. Like obviously we're still trying to get, you know, to Las Noches, but like it's a little bit kind of in the back burner while we deal with this like forest of Menos and stuff. So we're gonna see in the next episode, 149, how this fight with Rukia and Ashido turns out, and hopefully the rest of the gang will meet up with Rukia again, and we can go and help Nell and her friends. I think that Ichigo and friends were going towards Nell. They were kind of like, we'll find Nell, and then because they need rescuing, and then we'll get Rukia. She's probably fine. So let's get into episode 149. In three, two, one, go. Ooh, my volume is very loud. I mean, maybe it's applicable because Asian Kung Fu generation, but don't mind me. I'm really nervous for like episode 150 and 151. Like, I feel like this is like my last like breath before things get like really chaotic. It'll be fine. I feel like Totoro's gonna be a big part of the next few episodes at least. Because we're gonna have to deal with all them. You know. I'm gonna try not cough a lot during this, but my goodness. Okay, what are we dealing with? Yes, I remember. Recaps, we just, it's something we have to get past. Especially since the show itself is like trying to slow things down a little bit, so. Yes, many years feels like underselling it. Hundreds of years. Hundreds of years of fighting hollows by himself. Just crazy to me. Let's go save Ichigo, but not actually, because you were tricked. Yes, go for the leader, not the minions. Yes, I remember. I feel like because in the preview he was like still around, he's gonna be okay. His mask got ruined. Maybe that'll be like a healing thing though. The mask of the hollow that like killed his friend is gone, so he can't use it as like a memory, you know? Like he has to regain some more of his humanity. Maybe it's symbolic? Beat him up, Rukia. I believe in you. He believes in you. He already said that you were strong enough to defeat one. Her Zanpakuto is so pretty. Yeah, that was pretty cool. The nonchalance of it, I appreciate. They still freak me out. You still make me just just nightmare fuel, I'm telling you. I feel like this is good growth though. It's time to let it go. Boy, aren't they? Things have gone a little bit sideways since you were last in the Soul Society. Move this slightly over, don't worry about it. I was just like trying to read subs. Did we find Nell? Yes. Good. They need some help. They had a plan, it didn't really work out, so That's not a plan at NG. I mean, they're probably gonna do it. Yeah. I was like, Ishida, I agree, but they're all a like barge in and hope for the best kind of people, so is it another trap? Sure. The music's picking up. Definitely a trap. No one just stands on the edge of a cliff looking terrified, you know? Who made you cry? I mean, he isn't gonna run away, but good on you now for letting them know what they were about to get themselves into. Just look how tall they are. They're probably like, what? Because they don't know what's going on with the masked Soul Reaper. It's weird to see them just running. I'm like, we're not like zipping through the trees. We're not using like flash step or whatever. They're just running. I assume it's faster than normal people would run, but unlikely. Oh no. You made him take out the bow and arrow. So you like that? Why aren't we moving super fast? And then she had the big one. Oh. I mean, this is gonna backfire as like a torture technique when they just like do fine at the fight. There's a lot going on outside. Technically inside too, since Aizen is here. Look at Ishida. I love that he has his Quincy powers back and he's getting involved. Oh, that edgy. And of course, my sweet boy punching things like he's good at. Well said, Sado. Ichigo just seems like slightly put out that that he's being attacked like this. Dang, Ichigo. Okay. Everybody's showing off this episode. Showed how strong they've gotten. Oh, I'm worried about him though because he seems like an expendable character, and I'm just if anyone's gonna like die during this, it's gonna be him. Ooh, ooh. He seems to be doing okay though. Um, she's got this. Determined look. See, she just seems a little put out too that she has to deal with this. Aruki's just like this again. I'm trying to get to my friends. I'm trying to save Orihime. Can we speed this up a little bit? Yeah, everybody lived. Yay! I love his Sponkai. Ugh, just sweeping them off to the side. Like, I'm so proud of them that, like, this isn't even a challenge for them anymore. Like, Ichigo, especially. And, like, Ishida, who was, like, so terrified the first time that they saw one. And now they're just like, whatever. Like, it's cool. She figured it out. Others. She's like, Ichigo, Renji, the rest. Is he coming along? Should probably get a move on though. No. Hmm. Agreed. Uh-oh. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, something's gotta turn. Yeah. Sorry, character that didn't make it into the manga. I do not have good feelings for you. Feels a bit like dragon fodder. I dislike being right in this instance. I hope he like ultimately wins though. Ooh, are we deciding to stay? Too bad. Ooh, elegant. Isn't the like sand guy still around? I mean, it won't help if he doesn't want to leave though. I feel like a part of him doesn't want to. And you can't make people change. They have to want to change. New outfit. Aw, friends. This is when the real fighting's gonna happen though. Because once they get into Las Noches, it's like now the Espada have like orders to actually fight them, right? Like before they were like Aizen was like, don't go to them, wait till they get here. So now it's like, they're actually gonna have to fight them. I'm so nervous. But like oddly excited. I'm like, it's probably gonna be really cool, but also a lot for my heart to handle. Just swaying to deal with the anxiety. What's going on back in the living world, though? Urahara and Ishin just like having tea, swapping ideas. Because Urahara's like having ideas. He like has an idea of some stuff that's coming. I assume he's coming up with some kind of plan. And he was talking to like Ishida's dad. Oh, hello. So I have this nagging feeling that this is like a, you know, almost like playtime is over now. Like I feel like all the stuff that we went through for like the last 3, 4 episodes has been kind of like, here's a little side story, a little time for them to kind of show off what they've learned, show off new skills, meet Nell and her friends, and, traveling, which just takes time unless you're doing like fast travel. But, it's been kind of like a nice little buffer to be like, look at the abilities that they can do. Even before that, when they were fighting like the Arrancar that were like in that first little cavern that they kind of came into, it was like, let's show what Ishida is capable of now. Let's show what Sado is capable of now. Let's show off a little bit of what Rukia has learned. Let's show off what Ichigo can do. Like Renji, everybody, kind of getting their chance to show a little bit of where they're at right now and get some wins in and, work together and kind of have their moment before everything comes crashing down. I just, I feel like this is gonna go south so quickly. I feel like the moment the Espada get involved, they're gonna be so out of their depth. And like they don't even know enough about the Espada and about Aizen and his plans to even be aware of how much they're gonna be out of their depth. Like I don't even fully know. And I'm just like nervous and apprehensive and yeah. I don't have a good feeling, guys. I don't have a good feeling. But it'll probably look cool. We'll probably get to see some cool fights, some cool like released forms. I really want to see Grimjo's because Ichigo's fought against him multiple times, but we haven't seen his like actual released form. And I just want to know. I don't want to know, but I want to know. You know? Other than that, it was really just kind of closing off the story. I felt like they really had to kind of put a bookend on it, given that like it wasn't actually in the story that made it into the manga. So it was like where we're picking up where the manga is. they couldn't have like loose ends of it. So, that was where I was like seeing some death flags around Ashido because I was like, you're probably not in the manga. Like, you probably didn't make it in. So, I don't think you're gonna be in the rest of the story. And they tricked me a little bit. And they're like, he's coming with us. I was like, but he can't, right? Because he's not in the manga and it's like technically filler. So I'm assuming some people skip it. So, but nope. And the fact that he kind of like decided to stay, like I was like, oh, like maybe he'll get killed, like maybe he'll get injured, like something will happen. But instead, it was like he could have turned around, like he could have gone with Rukia and the rest of her friends and just like left. But he chose to like jump back in to the fight, and he chose to like stay down in the forest of Menos and like continue with what he knows. And like I said in the reaction, like you can't make someone change. So it was one of those things of like even Rukia being like, I'll come back. Like we'll come back for him because he's still there. He just has to survive long enough that we can get him when we're leaving. And I'm like, but he has to want to go. Like you can't just be like this is what's best for you and like make him leave. Like if he really is just sort of like this is the world that he knows, this is like the way of living that he has grown used to and that he's like it might seem strange to say it given the circumstances, but that he feels safe in, then, as opposed to like the unknown of like going back to the Soul Society, going back to what he used to be a part of without his friends, and you know, diving into the craziness that's been going on with the whole Soul Society Eisen thing. Like, it might feel safer for him to stay where he is because it's something that he understands, it's something that he knows, and so like, it's not something that you can force upon people, regardless of whether or not you have their best intentions in mind. So I don't think we're gonna see him again. Mostly because he's like part of this like little story that wasn't in the manga. So I feel like unless there's like a filler moment between now and when they're leaving, like even then, like I feel like he'll only show up in filler if we ever see him again. So if there's like a filler moment while they're leaving, maybe we'll get to see him again. Maybe he'll get out, but I don't have high expectations about it. It just doesn't seem like the way that his story is gonna go. And I don't know if that's how he wants his story to go, right? But now we're like getting into Las Noches. We're gonna like actually be, fighting the fight that they came to fight. We're gonna finally be going up against Aizen and the Espada, and well, I hope they don't have to fight Aizen. It really wouldn't turn out well. Aizen's got one of those like really high power levels right now, and I don't think Ichigo and friends has powered up enough to deal with him. But on the flip side of that, usually when we put Ichigo in a very stressful near death experience that he is desperate to like win because one of his friends is involved, he usually does something cool and interesting and new. So, are we gonna see some new ability, some new thing that he is capable of? I feel like we haven't fully explored the whole like hollow side of him yet, so that would be interesting. Ishida, he's got some cool tricks. Sado, I'd love to get a moment of Sado just like pulling out some cool move and just like having some cool powered up new form or whatever. That would be great, but I, also know that that's just because I love him. Um, Whether or not he'll actually get that, I don't know. Especially since you guys have told me that like he becomes like less and less of an important character as the show goes on. So I really don't know how much effort or time they'll give to like him powering up. But it'd be interesting to see that. I'd love to see something from Orihime of her kind of figuring out her abilities, because we know that there's like a ton more behind what she's capable of. Like the scope that she has of her abilities is like really small compared to what she's capable of. So I'd love to see her kind of break out of some of her like timidness and some of her like more like passive frame of mind to kind of unlock some of that, especially in like a high stress situation where in some ways she's gonna have to save herself a little bit. So you know, nervous, excited, the usual feelings of me going into certain fights in Bleach, but all in a good way. I feel like it's gonna be like really intense action for the next little bit. So I'm glad that we got kind of like a little bit of a breath. People got to win some fights, do well. Nobody got seriously hurt. You know, it's a good time. And I want to see if Nell is actually going to have way more power. And I want to see kind of how the Arrancar and like Aizen react to Nell. Because like she is an Arrancar, right? And she has the cracked mask. And I'm just like, there's a mystery there. So I'd like to get some more information about her. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed watching those episodes along with me. I'm really sorry that I didn't get to do it live with you guys, which is how I love to do these. But I hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe if you want to see more videos of me reacting to Bleach, or you can click this card and go back to the beginning of my Bleach journey and see the other stuff that I have done for the show. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.